Look up from your telescope, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Erica Dane back again with another amazing All-American video. And in this video, we are going to be talking about, should Layla and Olivia still be friends? Child, let's get into it. Okay, so this video came to mind after looking at the comment section of my episode 15 breakdown video. And shout out to y'all. So many of y'all posted a bunch of comments. Let me know how you felt about the episode. And a lot of it was centered around Layla, Olivia, and Carrie and their whole little situation that happened. And that's honestly what prompted me to make this video. But spoiler alert, this video is going to try to speak from both sides and to fully have a conversation, because I feel like a lot of the comments that have been posted are like completely one-sided, and it's like, okay, if that's really how you feel, cool. However, let's think about this fully. And in my episode breakdown, I said that I was very, very conflicted, because I do understand like that one-sided argument, but then I also understand the other side of it. And it's interesting to me how many people just have no empathy for Layla at all, and like really kind of, I feel like, jumped to conclusions when it came to her. Like, yes, I do feel like she's jacked up for putting Olivia in the position that she put her in, by way of inviting Carrie over unannounced, uninvited, to what was supposed to be their thing. And I'm going to talk about that in this video. However, some of the stuff that was popping up in the comment section, I was like, Layla didn't even do that. Like, wow, like y'all coming for this girl head to be Layla in 2021. Fix it, Jesus. And honestly, the biggest confliction for me is just, I'm just concerned on Olivia's end of what this could potentially trigger for her in going through the situation with Layla. Now, if I didn't feel like Olivia could be triggered and could actually, like, maybe she can actually handle the stress and all that's going to come with this drama with Carrie, but I just don't want her to have to handle it or have to go through it, given all that she has to go through. That's really my only thing. So when I made a comment of like, oh, they might need to just wash their hands of this friendship, it's just because I want Olivia to avoid this conflict that is coming by way of Carrie, because I don't know how her character would go. Like, I haven't seen enough growth just yet to know 100% or to feel 100% that if this goes super south, Olivia won't result to some form of self-harm and her sobriety won't be in question for her. So that, again, that's like, to preface this whole conversation off, that is my thought process behind my confliction. Now, if Olivia is great and if she can handle the stress and the confrontation of what this is about to be, then I do feel like maybe they should really still be pursuing this friendship. But I don't know about that. And then also in this video, I want to really talk about Layla's mental state as well as Layla's social state, because I think that's something that we have not really taken into full consideration when we decide to throw sis out the boat. But before I get into the full nitty-gritty, jump in and deep dive, if you're new here, I'm Erica Dane, and I post new All-American videos every day, sometimes twice a day, and you should really join the tribe by hitting subscribe. Listen, you see the title of this video, we have deep dive conversations. It's not just episode recaps over here. It is conversations about what's going on, what we think the characters are feeling, what we think the characters are thinking, what are we thinking and feeling, all of that and more. So if you are into that kind of content surrounding All-American, as well as other series, because I am covering quite a few. I'm covering Run the World, I'm covering The Shy, I am covering Brownish, I'm covering Sisters, and also doing fun throwbacks like One Tree Hill. So again, hit that subscribe button. You know you want to. I don't know why you haven't already. Thank you. Now let's get back into the video. Okay, so in episode 15, I'm going to base most of what I'm saying on what happened in episode 15, but I'm going to also make reference to a few episodes prior, because I think that those episodes state Layla's case versus Olivia's case. In this episode, we 100% saw the bulk of the heavy lifting in the friendship recovery efforts done by Olivia. However, we have to be honest that this recovery effort was not initiated by Olivia, and up until now, Layla has made each of the other moves to get them back to the place that they were now. Layla showed up for her after she released the body cam footage. Layla showed up for her and apologized and said, I did not even realize you were going through what you were going through. I did not catch it and I'm sorry. You're still this amazing woman, and gave her back the Wonder Woman pin. So let's not operate or move in a space like Layla just really ain't do nothing. Like, Layla has taken accountability for being a shitty friend. She has realized that. She has realized her shortcomings, and she has been trying to make amends as well as adjust her behavior. And honestly, the best apology that you can give somebody is adjusting your behavior, not just words that come out of your mouth. So I need us to at least give Layla that credit, because yes, Olivia is going hard in this episode, but Layla has also done the things that she needed to do to get them to the place that they could even have this girls' night. Because had Layla not done all that she's done, they wouldn't even have this night. Okay? And before I even move forward with that, I'm also low-key a little bit annoyed that so much of Olivia's stuff, and maybe this is just part of the characterization of her being an addict or recovering addict, but so much of Olivia's stuff is just her jumping all in, her being all like, everything is just OD. Like, she put all her eggs in one basket in this episode by way of, this is going to save me and Layla's friendship, and this is going to fix us, and I love her so much, and she's my BFF. Olivia has not been saying any of this after the fallout until this episode, and then we get it all in this one episode. And I feel like that is also a little bit misleading, right? Because it sets it up. So many of y'all have put in comments like, oh, Layla's playing the victim, oh, this, basically victim shaming, honestly. But in this case, I don't necessarily know if Layla was trying to play the victim, and I'm going to talk about that, but I feel like part of the issue is the setup that Olivia pushed so hard in this episode. And one, she didn't have to do all that. Two, why does she consistently, and my mind goes to this, why does she consistently pushes or go OD or gets kind of obsessive about things? Like, it really doesn't feel like many things she can find a middle ground. She's either completely not interested or she's completely focused on it. And the same thing I feel like manifested in this episode, and I'm just looking at it like, girl, I know you want your friend back, but geez, read the room. And yes, the room has had to adjust because she brought this uninvited guest here, but figure out what you got to do to protect yourself. Like, this is a whole conversation, and we're clearly going to keep talking about this in the comment section because it's a lot to unpack here. But for me, I just wish Olivia had gone so hard, especially with this being the first time we have seen her like actively pursue the recovery of the relationship, because up until now she's just been accepting the advances of Layla. So let's get to the answer to the ding on title of this video. Should Layla and Olivia still be friends? Right now, after episode 15, before we get to the Friendsgiving episode, after being able to process episode 15 for about 24 to 36 hours, I want to say yes, Layla and Olivia should still be friends. And the reason why I feel like they should still be friends is because I think that narrative is not something that, one, we would expect, or two, that we actually get to see. And if these girls can recover and build a healthy, stable relationship after all that they've been through with each other, I think it goes to show just a beautiful example about forgiveness and empathy and unconditional love, and how those things are cultivated. So I really, really, really want to see them win, and I would like to see them actually be friends again for that purpose. I think if both of them are operating in their highest self, on their highest vibration, they are really good assets to each other's lives. They bring differences that each other can benefit from. I think that both of the girls are really great girls. It's just the navigating of these interpersonal relationships that's the problem. And while Olivia has always been a good friend to Layla, one of the things I have been thinking about lately is that she's been able to be a really good friend to Layla because one of her flaws is that she focuses on things outside of herself to avoid her own problems. While she has been a good friend to Layla, part of the The issue, yes, is that Layla has not been a good friend in reciprocation to Olivia. That's 50% of the problem. But the other 50% of the problem for Olivia's side of this friendship is that she has not learned how to take care of and look after and support and protect herself before others, which has allowed her to be taken advantage of in this particular relationship. And that's something that's like normal, y'all. Like, I have relationships that I am just now getting out of, or shifting or putting boundaries up in, where the same exact thing has occurred, and I have put people before, above, around, everywhere in front of myself. So I think that that's very true to life, what we're actually seeing them experience. Of course, it's heightened because this is a drama and they're in Beverly Hills, but I think it's very true to life. And I don't know, when I'm looking at the comment section, I start to empathize with Layla even more, because everybody gives her so much crap. Like, she takes all of the brunt of the issues between her and Liv, and it's like, yes, she's responsible for not being a good enough friend from the jump. However, Liv's hands are not completely clean now, y'all. They're not completely clean. Let's be honest about that. And for me, part of it is the actions that have been taken, but then also part of it is the less than full self that Olivia has shown up to her previous relationships with, that has allowed her to interact and build relationships and build habits. Honestly, she taught people that this was okay to treat her this way, or to interact with her in the way that she was being interacted with, because she like allowed it and because she really enabled it. So I don't necessarily think that it's all, again, 100% Layla. Not taking any, accountability from her, but it's definitely not all her. And then also, I do believe that this season we have seen Layla really, really evolve and really, really mature. And specifically within her relationship with Olivia, I feel like she's taken 100% accountability for her shortcomings and has been trying to address it. Now, what we see in episode 15 is, what does it look like when this maturity is put to the test? Layla is still on a journey of learning and healing and evolving. She's not done yet either, the same way that Liv is still on this journey. So I kind of want everybody to kind of give her similar empathy, because there's so many passes given to Olivia for the stuff that she does, because she's a teen and she's just figuring it out and she's just really passionate and she's gonna make mistakes and all of this. But then when it gets to Layla, it's just like, well, no, she should have known better, and it's just like, this girl is recovering from depression. She's recovering and grieving a relationship loss, a friendship loss. She's also grieving who she thought she was, because when she got the reality check from Olivia about not being a good friend and all this stuff actually checked out, now she has to process that of like, girl, you running around here acting like, pretending like, talking like you're one way, but you're really another way. Like, this is how you're actually showing up in life. So there's also a bit of processing and grieving for the loss of who you thought you were. And then there's a process of actually showing up in the world the way that you say that you want to actually be, which is also part of the whole growth thing. So, and I think that Layla's on that path. I think Carrie has thrown a wrench in the trajectory of that growth, and maybe even slowed down that growth, because again, it's putting the maturity part to the test. And when I said earlier that I wanted to speak about the social setting that Layla's in, Layla right now has nobody to talk to but Coop. Coop, y'all. And this ain't season 1 Coop. This is season 3 Coop that has lost her damn mind. Okay? So when Carrie shows up, she starts to fill a void, because Layla does not have support right now. She does not have who she would go to and talk about life. She doesn't have who she would go to and talk about love. She doesn't have who she would go to and talk about school. She don't have who she would go to just talk about how she's feeling today. And she's just starting to get that part back in reference to talking with Olivia and building her relationship with Olivia again. But she can't talk to Liv about how she's feeling about love. She can't talk to Liv about all parts of her life right now, because Olivia is part of the tension or the conflict of one part of that love and life conversation. So I want to be able to give Layla grace in that when somebody shows up with an ear that you do know from before, I totally get how you could fall into a place of like, oh, I finally have somebody to listen. And this speaks to, honestly, y'all, I don't think that Layla told Carrie what happened from a one-sided point of view. I really do believe, or a victim point of view, I really do believe that Layla told Carrie exactly what happened, and Carrie created a narrative that is what she's spitting out right now. I do not believe that Layla told Carrie, "Oh, Liv stole my boyfriend." I think that that's what Carrie derived from Layla telling her the whole damn story. So there's comments about that. Personally, that's just my opinion. I think that Layla has evolved past that catty bullshit. And that's also why we see her struggling in the moments where we see that there's tension between Carrie and Olivia, and she wants to say something but she can't say something, and part of it she knows that Liv's right, and part of it's like, okay, Carrie, but you're right, but you're not the person to actually say this. And she does, she actually apologizes to Olivia in one part of this whole scene, because what she said was not appropriate to come from her. And she does say, like, she got caught up oversharing because she has nobody to share with. Like, I don't understand how some of us can really not empathize with Layla in reference to not having anybody, but then out the same mouth say, well, Liv has Spencer to pull her back from the edge and to talk to and to do this and to do that. Like, why is it okay? Why is Layla demonized for having a conversation? Or how do I say this? Because I can only imagine what these comment sections is going to look like in this video, trying to explain my point of view, because there's also a group of people who are very committed to misunderstanding me whenever I talk about Olivia. But basically, y'all, can we give Layla similar, if not the same, similar or close to empathy and support that we want and see Olivia getting? And I'm not saying give Layla Spencer. I'm saying if Layla doesn't have somebody to talk to and then she starts talking to somebody, understand that. Now, what that person does with that information and how that person is and who she chose to share with was 100% on her, and she has to take accountability on that. She does not realize that Carrie is who she is, and she should not be talking to her. But all I'm saying is give the girl empathy for needing to be able to express herself, because she hasn't been able to do so. And Olivia actually has. Olivia has been able to really get out her feelings and feel supported and grounded in community around her, around all of these missteps, all of the things that's happening. Okay, so that just really felt like a tangent. I want to kind of stick to the points here, but if y'all want to continue to talk about that, drop a comment down in the comment section below, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video. Now, piggybacking on what I mentioned, it is 100% Layla's responsibility to discern who she's talking to, who she's confiding in. Now, I think that because she knows Carrie from before, and because Carrie is just so damn welcoming and perfect and presenting herself like, oh girl, yeah, I got a little bit of issues, but I love you and I support you, and we're in it together. And she's giving her the energy basically that Layla kind of wants from Olivia, if I'm gonna be honest. She's giving her that energy. That's why she chooses to confide in her, because she needs somebody. Now, why she can't see what's going on, it's because I think Layla is trying her best to see the best in everybody. And that's not even something that's specific to Carrie. I think that's after her being checked by Olivia. And I think that's her processing her feelings around Spencer, and just even the conversation that Coop had with her on the phone after she felt away about, everybody being at Grace's party and her not being there. Like, I think that that's something that the past situation has conditioned her to be, and now she's trying to see the best in everything. Even her conversations with Simone, like, now she's trying to see the best in people. So she's not going to automatically jump to a place of, oh, stranger danger alert, because one, this girl wants to hear me out and listen to me and be on my side and actually support me. And two, I want to be a better person, and a better person sees the best in everybody. Does it make sense? Now, child, this video is getting a little bit long. I feel like I went on like 4 rants in this whole dang on video. Again, just to recap, I do think that Layla and Olivia should still be friends. I think the bigger conversation is, how do we get Carrie out? What does Olivia need to do to be able to navigate Carrie being in Layla's space? What does Layla need to do to wake up and get Carrie out of her space, how do these girls still build their friendships with an enemy within their ranks? I'm going to do separate videos on those topics as well. So again, make sure that you are subscribed so that you do not miss when I upload. Now it's your turn. Drop down into the comment section and let me know, what do you think about Layla and Olivia's current friendship? Do you think they should still be friends? How do you feel about the interactions with Layla, Olivia, and Carrie in episode 15? Tell me all of that and more. Even some predictions. What are you predicting to happen for their friendship in the future? Also, include 4 heart emojis in your comments so I know that you watched the entire video and that you're a real one, and I gotta show you some extra special real love. And this is gonna be very, very important, y'all, to put these hearts in your comments, because I'm gonna prioritize whoever has these hearts in their comments so I know they actually watched the full video and they're not just posting a comment to me with half the information, jumping out of there, like jumping out the window, arguing with me about something that I clarify later on the video, but they completely missed it because they didn't make it to the end. So again, 4 hearts in your comments so I know that you're a real one, and I need to respond to your comment with some extra special real love. I thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you so much for enjoying this video. If you missed any of my All American videos, I have my All About All American playlist link right here. And if you're looking for something new to watch, I got 2 suggestions for you right here. Check them out, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!